Do you ever wonder if the wealth and power we see around us really matter in the end? In Psalm 49, we're reminded that no amount of riches can buy eternal life. While wealth may seem to offer security, it's fleeting. True security comes from something far greater, from trusting in God. Today, I want to take you on a journey through this powerful psalm and reflect on the deeper meaning behind money, power, and where we should place our trust. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by the pursuit of wealth, or even discouraged by those who seem to have it all, Psalm 49 speaks directly to your heart. It's easy to get caught up in the world's obsession with money and power, but God is calling you to look beyond those temporary things. This psalm is a reminder that we are all equal in God's eyes, no matter how much we own or how successful we appear. It asks us to shift our focus from what is temporary, like wealth, to what is eternal, our relationship with God. You might be working hard every day, trying to provide for yourself and your loved ones, and that's important. But don't lose sight of the fact that money and success cannot protect you from the ultimate realities of life. Instead, place your trust in God, who offers something that money can never buy: our eternal life, peace, and security. So, as we reflect on this psalm today, ask yourself, where is your heart? Is it chasing after temporary riches, or is it resting in God's eternal promises? Psalm 49, verse 1-2. Hear this, all you peoples, listen, all who live in this world, both low and high, rich and poor alike. What you can take from this psalm? This psalm is addressing everyone, whether you're wealthy or struggling, in power or powerless. God's message of wisdom and justice isn't limited to a select few. It's a call for all people to recognize that regardless of our social or financial status, we are united in the eyes of God. Whether you're rich or poor, the wisdom in this psalm applies to you because what truly matters is beyond material wealth. Psalm 49, verse 3-4. My mouth will speak words of wisdom, the meditation of my heart will give you understanding. I will turn my ear to a proverb, with the harp I will expound my riddle. What you can take from this psalm? The psalmist is offering a wisdom that goes beyond surface-level understanding. These words challenge you to think deeper about life's real value. This wisdom doesn't come from material success or fleeting accomplishments, but from spiritual reflection and seeking God's truth. It's an invitation to pause, reflect, and listen to the deeper meaning of life, something that wealth alone cannot provide. Psalm 49, verse 5-6. Why should I fear when evil days come, when wicked deceivers surround me, those who trust in their wealth and boast of their great riches? What you can take from this psalm? We often see people who rely on their wealth and boast about their success, but this verse reassures us that there's no need to fear such people. Their wealth can't protect them from life's challenges or from God's judgment. Money may provide temporary comfort, but it doesn't offer real security. So, when you face difficult times or see those who seem to prosper through deceit, remember that their wealth is not the foundation of real safety, God is. Psalm 49, verse 7-9. No one can redeem the life of another or give to God a ransom for them. The ransom for a life is costly, no payment is ever enough, so that they should live on forever and not see decay. What you can take from this psalm? Wealth cannot buy eternal life. This verse reminds us that no amount of money can pay for the ransom of a soul. Life itself is priceless, and only God can grant eternal life through His grace. We often think that wealth can solve all problems, but in the face of death and eternity, it becomes meaningless. The only thing that can truly redeem us is God's love and salvation. Psalm 49, verse 10-11. For all can see that the wise die, that the foolish and the senseless also perish, leaving their wealth to others. Their tombs will remain their houses forever, their dwellings for endless generations, though they had named lands after themselves. What you can take from this psalm? Death is the great equalizer. Whether you are wise or foolish, wealthy or poor, we all face the same fate. This verse points out the futility of accumulating wealth only to leave it behind when we die. The things we own, the lands we name after ourselves, and the wealth we gather will remain on earth, but we won't. It's a reminder to invest in what matters eternally, our relationship with God. Psalm 49, verse 12. People, despite their wealth, do not endure, they are like the beasts that perish. What you can take from this psalm? No matter how much wealth a person accumulates, they are still mortal. Without a connection to God, their fate is the same as that of animals, they perish and leave nothing lasting behind. This is a stark reminder that wealth doesn't make us immortal or more significant. What endures is not wealth, but faith, righteousness, and a life lived in service to God. Psalm 49, verse 13 to 14. This is the fate of those who trust in themselves and of their followers, who approve their sayings. They are like sheep and are destined to die, death will be their shepherd, but the upright will prevail over them in the morning. Their forms will decay in the grave, far from their princely mansions. What you can take from this psalm? Those who place their trust in wealth, power, or themselves will face the same end as everyone else, death. This verse paints a vivid picture. Those who trust in their riches are like sheep led to the slaughter. They may live in luxury, but their bodies will decay in the grave. In contrast, the upright, those who trust in God, will prevail and find hope in the resurrection. It's a powerful call to shift your focus from earthly riches to spiritual wealth. Psalm 49, verse 15. But God will redeem me from the realm of the dead, he will surely take me to himself. What you can take from this psalm? While wealth cannot save us from death, God can. This verse offers a beautiful promise. God will redeem those who trust in him. It's a reminder that true security and hope lie not in what we accumulate, but in God's power to grant eternal life. If you trust in God, you can have peace knowing that he will rescue you from death and bring you into his presence for eternity. Psalm 49, verse 16 to 17. Do not be overawed when others grow rich, when the splendor of their houses increases, for they will take nothing with them when they die. Their splendor will not descend with them. What you can take from this psalm? It's easy to envy those who seem to have it all, wealth, luxury, and success. But this verse reminds us not to be intimidated or envious of them, because they can't take their riches with them when they die. Their wealth is temporary and can't follow them into eternity. Focus on spiritual treasures, which last beyond this life. Psalm 49, verse 18 to 19. Though while they live they count themselves blessed, and people praise you when you prosper, they will join those who have gone before them, who will never again see the light of life. What you can take from this psalm? Wealth and success often bring praise and admiration in this life, but this recognition is fleeting. Those who rely on their riches will ultimately join the countless others who have passed away. This verse is a sobering reminder that earthly prosperity is temporary, and no amount of fame or fortune will keep us from facing the realities of death. True blessing comes from following God, not from the praise of people. Psalm 49, verse 20. People who have wealth but lack understanding are like the beasts that perish. What you can take from this psalm? Wealth without spiritual wisdom is meaningless. A person may accumulate great riches, but if they don't seek understanding and a relationship with God, their fate is no different from the animals. They perish without leaving a lasting impact. This verse calls you to seek God's wisdom and live a life that has eternal significance. Summary of Psalm 49, Lessons on Wealth, Power, and Spiritual Security. Psalm 49 is a profound reflection on the temporary nature of wealth and the eternal value of trusting in God. The psalm addresses both the rich and the poor, emphasizing that material wealth cannot save a person from the realities of life, especially death. The psalmist highlights that, regardless of status or wealth, all people face the same fate, death. Wealth can provide comfort in life, but it is useless in the face of death, as it cannot buy redemption or eternal life. No amount of money can ransom a soul or change one's ultimate destiny. Those who trust in wealth are compared to sheep being led to slaughter, ultimately losing everything they have gained. Meanwhile, those who trust in God have the promise of redemption and eternal life. God alone can rescue us from the power of death and bring us into eternal security. The psalm also cautions against envying the rich or being overawed by their success, as their wealth is fleeting. In death, they will leave all their riches behind, unable to take anything with them. Instead, the psalm calls us to seek spiritual wisdom and place our trust in God, whose salvation is eternal.